1, 2, 3.
Hello, everyone. This is Kyle Galaz with Poor2Pro Car Sales Training Podcast. Become a sales titan. I get to do another amazing one-on-one training session with the salesperson that reached out, ready to go to the next level. And I like it when salespeople just say, "Hey, I want to do a one-on-one. Here's my topics. Let's rock and roll." Because I can truly tell just through that short conversation that someone is ready to go to the next level. I don't know if people get stagnant or they just never want to stop. They want to keep going. And Yuli messaged me and said, "Kyle, I want to do a one-on-one. I'm ready. Here's my topics. What do I got to do?" And here we are a few days later doing our one-on-one. So Yuli, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us where you're at. Tell us your tagline, and let's get to know you.
Sure. What's up, Kyle? My name is Yuli. People know me as Yuli from Ford. I'm here in Tucson, Arizona, with the Jim Click Automotive company.
Now, how long have you been at the Gym Click?
I'm rolling on 6 months this month.
Okay, so you are new. You're very new, and you're getting your feet wet in the car business, and you're looking for training. That's really, really cool to see from somebody so new because you're in the absorption mode, and it's good to get good habits right away than create bad habits. What made you choose that particular dealership, Yuli?
So I do a lot of research before I start working for, a corporation, and Jim Click made the most sense to me. As far as the way he treats employees and customers, it was just a place that I really wanted to work for.
Very cool. And are they family owned?
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, family-owned dealerships are I see a lot of value in family-owned because you can walk up to the owner and actually talk to them and have a conversation about concerns or positives, and they listen, and a lot of times they'll implement if it makes sense. So you have a lot of probably a lot of awesome staff at that dealership, and it's really cool. It's family-owned. What made you choose Ford, or was it just specifically Jim Click brought you in?
So I really wanted to work for Toyota. That was my main goal when I got into car sales. But I landed on this dealership. Um, I knew someone that worked here and they kind of got me in. But Ford is an amazing company, I will say. Their products are very, very good. Lincoln is very, very good too. So it just made the most sense to me.
Very cool. And is that the two brands they sell, Ford, Lincoln, and then pre-owned?
No, so what's awesome about this dealership is well, with this company is I'm able to sell, I believe it's 9 different brands, 11
Wow.
different lots. So I have a lot of opportunity, used and brand new, 2,000 cars to choose from, a whole lot of banks. So the opportunity is here, and uh I really want to take advantage of it.
Well, yeah, I mean, 2,000 vehicles. If you don't have it in stock, it doesn't exist.
You're right.
Louise, that's a lot of inventory. Yeah, I mean, that's a huge opportunity for you if you can sell all the brands. I mean, your station's at Ford, but you can sell all the brands. Not many people get to do that. So, you're very blessed in that area that you can sell all that. You have 2,000 units. A lot of dealerships have 100 used, maybe 130 new, and they struggle. And it sounds like you have a great place to work. So congrats on getting in the car business. Before we
Thank you.
start on your subjects, what made you think about the car business as a career?
Just the opportunities. People always said, like, do what you were best at doing in high school and what you always like to do. And I've always liked talking to people. I was always the one getting in trouble in class, the class clown and whatever. I've always sold chips in school. So why not put two and two together? And I don't know, I could just stumble across the car business, and I love it, man. I really do.
Well, that sounds a little bit like me, the troublemaker trying to sell stuff at school. So I bet you in the car business, there's a lot of those um, troublemakers and the class clowns in the car business because it does fit hand in hand, really does, especially if you started selling in school and selling chips and trying to make ends meet just for, your little candy money and stuff or your
Right,
video
yeah.
game money. Very cool. All right, let's get into your first topic. and that was asking questions.
Yeah.
Asking questions is something that even veterans fail at. Veterans can struggle at asking questions because they get into a routine. This is a veteran I'm talking about. They get into a routine of what they know kind of works in the car business. They do the things, they show the vehicles, they will ask questions. Everyone asks questions, but once they find out some of the things the customer needs, they might stop asking questions and just go to a vehicle they feel fits it right off the bat. Well, where that can bite you in the butt is later in the process after you spent time doing this beautiful walk around and you test drove it, and then they say something like, "Yeah, as long as it can tow 7,000 pounds, I think this is the one." And you're like, "Oh yeah, well let me check with the Gladiator Rubicon pulls. It's got a V6. I'm sure it can pull it. Oh, it only pulls 5,000." Right? So those little questions can save your deal. Uh, in the end, it saves a lot of time. Where we stumble, Yuli, is what questions do we ask? Like hello, what's your favorite color? What kind of color do you want? And especially a new guy in the car business. When I first started, my boss had a little sheet. It had different questions: lighter or darker color, two-wheel drive or four-wheel drive, long bed or short bed, crew cab or extended cab. He had a list of questions, but what I realized is that was just because I was so new. I was just, been in the car business for a day. And these are things that I need to learn. But as you get better, you realize that questions are the answer. It's a weird thing to think about, but think about what I said. Questions are the answer. And anytime you're struggling in the car business or you're having tough time in sales, you got to go back to what works, the basics. And part of the basics is asking questions. Now, specifically, there's different kinds of questions. There's questions that you can ask on the phone, questions you can ask in an email, a response to a lead that doesn't have a phone number. And then there's questions that you can ask to somebody in person. And we can cover a little bit of each of those so that way you can get an understanding of how important questions are. But could we both agree, Yuli, that questions kind of set the tone of who's in control of the conversation?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And do you think that by asking questions, you can help direct a customer to the right vehicle?
Yeah, 100%.
And do you think by asking questions, you can avoid headaches down the road with a customer that buys a vehicle?
Yeah.
By sourcing them, right? Sourcing the right vehicle they need. And do you think by asking questions, you help the customer feel important
Yeah. Oh yeah.
because you care, right?
Hmm.
And the last four sentences we just did is I asked you questions. Do you think the customer, how do you think the customer? I was in control of this small little segment of our conversation right now by asking the questions. So remember that when you're helping customers, the cool thing about questions is it's a disguise of control. Instead of you saying, "Hey, come on over, sit in this car," you can almost think of a question of how to get them in the seat. I'm curious to hear I'm curious of your opinion of the seat. I want to know how how you like the seat compared to something else. Do you think you could sit in it and tell me what you think instead of saying sit down and tell me what you think? You just, and that's not the greatest example, but you can see how I, instead of telling a customer what to do, I asked a question and still got the same result. But I let them be in control of, oh yeah, I'll sit down and tell you what I think. I'm curious of your opinion. You've been driving Toyota so long, and I'm curious of what you think about our seats. I'm using seat as an example. Compared to the Toyota, how does the Ford Expedition feel compared to the Sequoia? There's a question. How does? So if you're going to write stuff down, I want you to write down questions are the answer. And then another one that you write down is questions maintain control. You ever watch those car sales trainers where they're actually at like a training facility and they bring a salesman up front?
Oh yeah.
They, the clowning happens on that salesperson when they can't answer the question, right? Uh, So the trainer will ask the salesperson, the question. The salesperson can't answer it. Who looks like the clown? Not the
The
guy.
salesperson.
Yeah, not the guy asking the question. It's the salesperson. So just remember that when you're asking a question, you're not trying to clown a customer, but you just want to know that that is what controls a conversation. And when you can ask the right questions, which we'll talk about, then you can narrow down what they say they want to what they actually need and what they're going to drive off with. And you know this at Ford, people come in and say, I want a half ton. Yeah, I'm pulling 12,500 pounds. In the back of your head, you're thinking, whew, this is going to be a tight one if you want a half ton to try to pull 12,500. Is that trailer dry or is that wet? Oh, you know what I mean? Like, is that with all the stuff in it or is that empty? Well, it's 12,000. I'm thinking 500 pounds of all my gear. And no, you're going to be overloaded. So by asking questions, what are you loading in your trailer? What's the trailer's curb weight? How much, capacity? How many people are you going to put in the truck? What are you going to fill it with? You have fuel tanks. You have all this stuff. You're going to put a side by side in there. Next thing you know, through these questions, you can sell them a diesel. You're going to say, hey, listen, through the questions that I've asked you, it really sounds like you need a diesel. Now I'll sell you anything you want. If you want to buy the F-150, we can sell you the F-150 EcoBoost that pulls 12,500. But rest assured, you are maxing that vehicle out, and for not much more, based on what you're asking and what you need, I think a F-250 diesel is the way to go. Well, let's go drive one. And not only are you doing your customer a service, but man, you look professional, right?
Oh yeah.
So let's talk about some questions you can ask. Where do you feel like you need the most help? Internet, in person, or email for these questions, or all of them?
Um, I would say in person, I have a lot less time to think about, the following
Ah,
question versus, a text message or email. I could read the email and just kind of think about the next
awesome.
question.
Yeah, that makes sense. Email you can kind of process, get on Chat GTP, blah blah blah, make a little response, whatever you got to do. But in person, you got to think on the fly, right?
Oh yeah.
And sometimes that takes time to develop that. So don't be discouraged that you can't think of it. But let's say we just met, okay?
Okay.
And I want you to think, and we're just going to role play here. I want you to think of a vehicle on your lot right now that's truly in stock, that's unique, pinpoint it in your head.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to ask some questions and let's see if I can get to that vehicle, okay? Through just questions. I'm not on your lot. I'm 1,700 miles away. Oh, what's going on, Yuli? I'm Kyle. Thanks for coming to Jim Click Ford. What brings you in today?
Oh, in the market for a vehicle.
Very, very cool. That's always an exciting time to, find a new vehicle and get something, whether it's brand new or pre-owned. Shoot, I mean, it's new to me, right?
Right.
Were you looking at new or pre-owned?
I was looking for something new.
Oh, very nice. Something with a brand new warranty. It's like a brand new baby, not a scar on it, not a scratch on it, right?
Right.
Well, I appreciate you coming in. Before I get started, I just want to say thanks for coming in. And what made you choose our dealership, Jim Click?
I've heard nothing but good things, and the maintenance for life is a big keeper. I
Yeah.
want to take advantage of it.
Yeah, you know what? Maintenance for life, holy moly. I mean, the way vehicles are nowadays, it costs money to maintain them. And the fact that you showed up here, I appreciate it. And the maintenance for life is a really cool thing. And yeah, I appreciate you coming in, Yuli. Okay, so you mentioned you want new. Are you looking for something big, something small, truck, car?
Um, yeah, I'm looking for something bigger, like a big toy hauler.
Very cool. Yeah, I mean, toy haulers, my goodness, they're so big nowadays. Sometimes you need a dually, you need an F-450, with all the big stuff. Now, what kind of weight do you think it's going to be this toy hauler? What might you be putting in it?
Thinking about carrying an RV. Um, it has about, let's just say, 13,000 pounds after it's all said and done.
Very cool. Now, are you going to be doing fifth wheel, gooseneck, or traditional towing through off the back hitch?
I'll say gooseneck.
Gooseneck. Okay. Now, do you need that long bed, the 8 foot box, or the 6 3/4? Okay.
The 6 3/4 is good.
Okay, gotcha. Now, as far as stuff you mentioned RV, are you going to be putting anything in the RV? You said toy hauler, side by side, or
It'll be a side by side.
gotcha. So we have a variety of vehicles. I would prefer to show you, and you can stop me if I'm wrong, but we have some F250s and F350s on the lot that have the towing and the payload capacities of that. And then you can still put a gooseneck. The 3/4 ton and 1 tons are probably our most popular for that kind of stuff. We have one right over here. Let's take a look. Okay, that was a very what's the word primitive way to do it because we're just talking it through the. But you can see I'm trying to channel the guy down. New or used was right off the bat, right? Boom.
Oh
We
yeah,
just we just eliminated a huge amount of vehicles and issues. And then you brought up something that I didn't know about, Jim Click. You got maintenance for life.
yeah.
So think about this through a question. I figured out why he chose Jim Click. Obviously, it's Ford's, but something about the maintenance for life rings in him. He sees value in it. So now I can build off that just by a simple question. What brought you in today? Why did you choose Jim Click? Oh, it's your maintenance for life. Okay, and then I start asking questions. So now I know he's a fan of the maintenance for life. What was it, a 250 or 350?
Yeah, it was a 250
250 diesel?
diesel.
Okay, so I know we're just kind of role playing, but we narrowed it down to the vehicle you're thinking about. Obviously, I can't see the colors out there and all that, but if I was on the lot, then I could ask, yeah, our F250s are right down there. If one catches your eye, let me know and we'll stop. Do you like lighter colors or darker colors? And go a little old school. Oh, I'm looking for white. Okay, excellent. You can start walking to it. But the thing is, and maybe write this down too, Yuli, is um, you need to create a list. So put list of questions. And the ones that are very important to not only you, but to the way you make a customer feel is why did you choose Jim Click? What about Jim Click made you want to come to us? Because you're going to get a uh, a sample of their psyche of why they're at your dealership, and they'll tell you because you're not nothing about it is a defensive mechanism. Didn't it seem warm and inviting? Hey, thanks for coming in. What brought you in today? What made you choose Jim Click? And the next thing you know, they gave a hand. They showed a card. Oh, it's your maintenance for life. So now, what can you do with the maintenance for life when you're sitting at the desk?
Use it as leverage.
Yeah, I understand you want more money off, Mr. Customer, because the one down the street's cheaper. There's always a cheaper one. Eventually, if you shop enough, the car will be free because there's one cheaper, and next thing you know, it's like, yeah, here's a free car. If you keep shopping, they're going to start paying you for it, right? It,
Right.
it puts into perspective. Why is it that the dealership I work at is always the highest price, and then I work at this dealership, and that dealership's the highest price? Why is it? Oh, it's because customers always say the same scripted thing. So when you're at the desk and they say, "Oh, I saw one down the street cheaper," yeah, there's always a cheaper one. But the reason why you came to Jim Click is because first, I hope I did a good job serving you and finding you the right vehicle and asking the right questions so I can put you out in the right vehicle. I hope you see some value in that. But also, we do maintenance for life. This is not a cheap thing they're giving away. This isn't some air freshener hanging from the vehicle. This is maintenance for life, and you made it very clear up front that this is why you chose us. Right? So yeah, if you want to save 400 or 500 bucks or 8 cents on your payment, go right ahead. But if you want to stick with a dealership that's family owned and does all the right things and gives you that maintenance because they back their product, do business here. So that simple question in the beginning just gave you the ammo to close the deal. That is why questions are so important. So now let's talk about on the lot, walking the lot. So do you know the basic questions like who's it for?
Yeah.
Who's it for? How many people are in the family? How many seats do you need? I know you mentioned you want an expedition. Do you want one with captain's chairs or the full second row bench? Do you need 8 seats or do you need 7 seats? Oh, we have 6 kids. Okay, so you need the 8 seat, right? But if you don't ask those questions and you're showing them a bunch with captain's chairs, they're like, six. We can't buy an expedition, honey. But they may not tell you that. All right, well, thanks, Yulia. We're gonna keep shopping around. Okay, here's my card. When that 8 seater was just down the way, because customers sometimes don't know your product as good as you. Sometimes they do. So, what are some questions that you feel like it's default? You don't even have to think about it.
Um,
Let's say let's reverse the role. I'm at your lot now.
okay.
Okay. And this is not putting you on the spot. This is training. This is what we do. Okay. I'm on your lot. I just got out of I have a Lincoln MKC. It's a 2015. That's my personal vehicle, along with a couple others. But my daily driver is a Lincoln MKC 2015 black leather. It's got the nice wood trim. I'm coming out and you're walking up to me and we do the meet and greet. Let's pass the meet and greet. Oh, yeah, I'm Kyle. Nice to meet you, Yuli. Now what?
Um, so what brought you in? Are you looking to replace your MKZ?
Um, Not, I think I'm going to keep it because it's just a good little daily driver. It gets 20 plus miles a gallon. But Jim Click, I know I've never actually been on your car lot. What brought me in is your guys' inventory, a lot of inventory, and I don't like going dealership to dealership. I just want to go one place, find the vehicle, and make a deal on that.
Awesome, you came to the right place. Um, what exactly were you looking for? Were you looking for something used or brand new?
I would consider used if the miles were low enough, but I'm thinking I want to go new this time. I always get a secondhand car, and I'm finally at the age where it's like, you know what, I want to get something nice. So we could start it new, but if there was something pre-owned that could save me a tremendous amount, I might look at that too.
Sure. We could start off at new, but if anything catches your eye, just feel free to stop me there. Are you looking for a sedan? Maybe an SUV, a truck?
I was looking at the Ford Explorer ST because
Okay.
I saw one on the road and it had that quad exhaust and it was really cool looking. And I'm kind of almost an empty nester. My girls are getting older, so it's just me and my wife, but I still want to have those seats. So I was looking at that and then whatever else you have. I haven't been at a Ford lot in a long time. I know that you guys got rid of your Focus, your Fiesta, your Fusions. I mean, you got rid of a lot of stuff. And so I kind of just getting updated, really. What do you have?
Yeah, here I could show you. If you guys want to follow me, I don't, and then I'll just kind of show you where the models are at and just kind of pinpoint whichever one you like.
Yep. So, exactly. So you kind of know the basics of it, but there can be in between questions in that also. And one of the in between questions is I gave you a little ammo that you could pick up on is we're empty nesters. Our kids are almost out of the house. What could you do with that?
I could probably eliminate the like the bigger like the expedition.
True,
Uh,
but I guess what I'm asking is let's say you want to use that information as a rapport building.
okay.
Think about that. So the 2 daughters were almost empty nesters. Oh, congratulations, man, being good parents, raising them up. Are they working? Are they still in school? Oh yeah, one goes to college. Oh, that's excellent. Are they going to be driving this car every once in a while? Oh no, 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 not the ST. You know, uh, but you can find out how many kids they have. Oh, how many kids do you guys have? Oh, I have 2 daughters. Oh, that's awesome. They still live in town, and you can use some of those questions as rapport building too. So remember, questions can help you build rapport. That'd be a good one to write down. And remember, questions can help you close later in the deal. I mean, if you really think about that maintenance for life thing that we talked about, that is a closing tool later. Uh, so when you're asking those questions like, what are you going to be using it for instance? Oh, an ST, here's a question. What about the ST caught your eye? Oh,
Mm.
it's the quad exhaust. I've never been in an ST. But so what about, you said you saw on the road, what about the ST caught your eye? Oh, I saw the quad exhaust. What does that tell me about that customer?
Definitely a family man, but also likes to have his fun.
Exactly. There's some performance in his brain. Let me start at the, you know what? Since that's what caught your eye, let me start at the exhaust. Normally, I'm supposed to start up here and do the walk around, but for you, Mr. Customer, I'm going to show you the exhaust first. I'm going to show you that two of these exhaust pipes in normal mode are quiet. But when I hit the sport mode, all four open up. Bop. And now when you're hitting those gears, and you'll see on your test drive, you'll see what I'm talking about with the performance of it. Because the ST Explorer is the perfect blend of luxury and sleeper mobile. You know what sleeper mobile means? It's fast and only you know it is, right? Now, if someone's behind you and they see ST, they know it is. But you guys are revving on the street. This guy's revving up in his V6 whatever, and you're over here in your ST. You're gone. You're gonna smoke him. Obviously he's not probably gonna do that. Maybe he will. But what we're doing is we're getting an ether, getting him excited, bringing back his childhood when he's playing with Hot Wheels. And he there's that performance hiding in there. So if a customer comes in and says, "Hey, I'm looking at the ST," what about the ST caught your eye, right? What about Jim Click made you want to come in? What about Ford made you want to stop in? And these questions are going to unleash information that you can use to close them. Oh, my dad was a Ford guy and he always said, buy a Ford. I've been a Chevy guy for years. And I'm finally going to say, all right, I'm going to go look at Ford's dad. Oh, yeah, yeah. And guess what? You can do some comparisons. I'll tell you what, does he still drive a Ford or what's he driving now? Yeah, he's a Ford now. Well, let's one up him. What's he have? He has a Ford F-150. You need an F-250, right? You're just having fun. But I mean, you've already said it yourself. You're a class clown. You're a hustler. Why not put that to use through questions? And I I've been in the car business 22 years and I've worked with veterans many times. They've been in the car business 30, 40 years. They've been in the car business twice as long as me and they forgot this hidden thing, asking questions because they get stuck in their ways. So what you need to do is create a list of questions that you can remember so it's verbatim. So next time if we ever do a one-on-one again, I can say, "Hey, ask me some questions that you've gotten down. What are you going to be using it for? How many people are in your family? Do you want a lighter or darker color? Do you need more horsepower? Do you want more fuel economy? Are you using it for work or for personal or both? Right? Are you towing or are you not? Do you put stuff in the bed or do you not? Is this a princess pavement Bronco or is this I'm going off road Bronco? You know what I mean?
Right.
You see how you can just fire, the longer you're in the business, the more you can fire them off if you're practicing. Are you looking for this? Or are you looking for that? You said hybrid. Do you want a plug-in or do you want a standard hybrid? Oh, what's the difference? Oh, let me show you. Let's find out the one that fits your needs. And you're going to find out through questions that you're going to make the customer feel very, very important. And here's another example. Yuli, how you doing?
Okay. Good.
I noticed you have a beautiful gold chain on it. Tell me about that. A gold chain.
Oh yeah.
Tell me about it.
Um, it was a milestone after I reached a certain amount of cash flow in high school. I decided to reward myself, and it's been on my neck ever since.
Very cool. So there's more meaning to it than just gold.
Right.
There's sweat equity in that thing.
A lot of sweat equity, yeah. A lot of chips.
Is there something about gold that stands out more than like silver or platinum?
Um, I think just my culture, like being Mexican, we use a lot of. I think we use a little bit more gold than silver. I think it just looks better on the skin.
Yeah, gold is pretty, especially when that sun hits it.
Oh
You
yeah.
you got a fresh, clean gold necklace. That thing could be seen from Mars.
Thank you.
Elon Musk will be on Mars looking at your gold necklace, like, oh shoot, there's Yuli. How old are you when you bought it? You said high school. How old were you when you actually were able to buy it?
Um, either 16 or 17.
Very cool. And if you don't mind me asking, how much was it?
It was like closer to like 1,000.
That's a lot for a high schooler. That
A
is a
lot of
lot of
savings,
chips.
a lot of chips.
Okay, pause. How does that conversation make you feel as a person?
Makes me feel important. Um, like you're noticing something on me, and I don't know, like sure.
Yuli, the magic salesman, you can teleport. Okay, so we'll get back to that. So when I was asking about the gold, and and I was at really asking, I was being genuine about my questions. I saw the gold necklace. I picked up on something you're wearing. I asked you about it, and I was able to take you back to a warm and fuzzy place. And I was able to compliment you on, you know, saving up as a high school student for something that expensive. That blew my mind. It's almost $1,000. It's high quality gold. So those little things like that with questions mean a lot to customers. So try to do when you're with a customer, try to do like two questions to one statement, until you find a flow of what works for you. Because two questions to one statement might be too many questions. I don't know, you know, but it for some people it's not. And if you ever get a customer that feels like you're detecting that you're asking too many questions, this is what I used to do. The reason why I'm asking a lot of questions is because I don't want to sell you the wrong vehicle. And by asking the questions, I can mentally build a case file so I can show you the exact vehicle that works for you. So if you notice I'm asking some questions, it's for that reason. Because I've had customers like, they're like, another question, like, oh yeah, we're looking for this. And sometimes they're telling me what they want, but I know it's not the right vehicle. And then that's when I use that. Hey, the only reason why I'm asking all these questions because I want to make sure I find you the right vehicle. If you want to buy that vehicle for what you're asking and we're going to do it for, we can sell it to you and you can drive off. But I just want to make sure, and that can build a lot of value in you too. And you can still sell them the vehicle they want. And you don't have to ask questions if they say, I want to buy this vehicle. You know, questions are the ones to de de engineer that the tougher customers. So if you have a customer that comes in and says, "I want to buy this car if you can get me approved, I have 5,000 down." What kind of questions do you want to ask? It's basic stuff, right?
Yeah.
You who's going to go on it? Let me make a copy of your driver's license. Do you have current insurance card on you? Like, let's just get the ball going. But for the guy that's a little holding his cards up to his chest and he's not really saying much, those are the times you need to ask more questions. You ask a lot of questions to de-engineer their armor, to de whatever you want to call it. Chip away at his armor. So remember that questions, you don't always have to ask a zillion questions, but you ask enough to make sure that you've found the right vehicle, you've built the right rapport. Anything else on questions you want to talk about on the phone at all? I mean, the phone really is the same questions. What made you choose us? If you have a customer that calls in on a particular vehicle, let's say it's sold, or let's say it's selling right now. Instead of saying, "Oh, it looks like that one just sold. I'll call you if I get some other ones like it," right? Because that happens. You can say, "Hey, I'm not sure what's going on with it, even though you know it's sold or it's selling. It looks like there might be a deal working on it, so I'm gonna have to investigate a little bit. But what about that particular F-150 made you inquire on it, made you call on it? Oh, you need an 8 foot box, regular cab 8 foot for, is this for work then? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, before we hang up, let me get some basic info. That way I can, if that one particular one is selling, which it is, um, I can find two or three that are comparable and call you with it. Okay, done. Thanks. All right, bye, Bill. And then they also say stuff like, "Well, it's a low miles in the price." Okay, so if you know it's sold, don't say it's sold. You could say, "Hey, there's something working on it. Looks like there's some activity on it. What about it did you like?" "Well, it's under 20 and it has 87,000 miles." "Okay, let's do this. While I'm finding out if that vehicle is being sold or not, I'm going to also check my inventory, see if there's a couple others just like it that have the same miles or very close and a similar price. What's your information?" Boom, boom, boom. Ask questions, 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 questions. Find out why um, they want that particular vehicle. So it's like a detective building a case file, right? If you're investigating a a murder or some crime. You don't go door to door to all the neighbors and tell them stuff. You go door to door to all the neighbors and ask them stuff, right?
Mm, okay.
Detectives don't want to solve a crime by telling someone was murdered here yesterday and you know who it is. All right, see ya. It's not how you solve a case, right? Hey, there was a crime that happened yesterday. I'm going through all the neighborhoods to see if there's anything suspicious that you might have saw. Did you see anything out of the ordinary that was suspicious? Yeah, there was a weird car. Ah, what about the car made it suspicious? Well, there was three guys with guns in it. There's my answer, right? You got to ask questions to get the answer. So remember, questions are the answer. Okay, let's move on. Unless you want to talk about questions anymore.
Um, I should be I should be set. I did get
Here's
a
what I
lot
want
that I'm
you
looking for.
to, yep, on that list that you have tonight, tomorrow, write down as many as you think that you need and start remembering questions because your questions that you ask in your style, Yuli's style, is different than questions I ask as Kyle's style, right? So find the questions that aren't awkward and find some questions that are awkward because you got to get out of your comfort zone. Like, what brought you in today? What made you choose Jim Click? Slow them down a little bit. Ask a question. What's your maintenance? Oh, shoot. Now you have a response on the maintenance because you've dealt with this question before. Okay.
Okay.
The reason why I'm asking all these questions is to make sure I'm maximizing your money and finding you the perfect vehicle. I'm asking a lot of questions because I want to maximize your money. Who's gonna who's not gonna want to answer questions to that? Okay. I want to help you to the max. All right. Number two, getting customers in. So getting customers in, there's different versions of that. What were you thinking when you thought of that topic?
Um, Two things popped into my mind was phone pops for one. Second would be like friends and family that, see me doing what I'm doing on Instagram, on Facebook, and are kind of inquiring, but just still haven't came in to see what I can do for them.
Okay, gotcha. So what we need to do is work on being more enticing. So let's ask you, what would it take for you to go into a business you've never walked into? Think about, like, let's say a new shop opened up and it had a cool name, the man store. And it was right, you drove by it once in a while in your town. What would it take for Yuli to go into that store?
Mm, Maybe big letters that say sale.
Yeah, that could totally be right. Um, Sale is definitely one of them. What about you ever see that ad? I forget, the Dollar Shave Club. You ever see any of
Okay.
their ads, Dollar Shave Club?
Yeah, I do.
What makes millions of people sign up for Dollar Shave Club?
Is so recognizing the problem and them having the solution. Like they hit you with, oh, you have long hair or these things kind of do this to your skin. Well, our product doesn't.
Yeah. So product information. Also, it's in their name, Dollar Shave Club. You can sign up and it's $1 or $4 for the max or whatever. I used to sign up, and the reason why I did it because it was $1. I never sign up for online stuff, but it was inexpensive. So think about this next time you're doing one of your videos or your ads, and you can say something like, or make a post like, your payment is currently too high and your interest rate is too high. Come see Yuli. Let's lower both. Like, just get it out there and don't worry about offending people and make a video. You're currently paying too much on your car payment and you're paying too much interest. Come see Yuli. Let me lower both. Like, you're going to attract people, and they may not say they saw that video because they might be embarrassed. Oh, I have a high rate, da da da. They might just message you, "Hey, Yuli, yeah, I was looking at some da da da." It might come through a back door of why they saw it, but they saw your video. But the reason why people bought into Dollar Shave Club is because it was cheap. It was $1 to get your razors, and then they upgrade you from there. So what you need to think about is how can I get customers in? How can I get customers in um, based on lowering their payment, lowering their interest rate, small payments. Go to your boss and say, hey, what kind of payments like ads do we have? I'm sure you guys have weekly ads that say $2.99 a month to lease this. Go on there, but don't show the ad. Just say it. Hey, I got this. Boom, boom, boom for $2.99 a month. Come see Yuli. Ask for the Yuli special. Yuli at Ford, right? And try that. The other thing is with friends and family, you can be a little more direct and you can say, hey, I've been here for 6 months. You never come visit me one time. Get over here and let's have some coffee. Let me show you around. You don't got to buy anything. All right, I'll be right there, Yuli. I'm off today. And you get them in the buying mood when they get there. You switch them over because they're obviously not buying a car. They haven't contacted you. They could be embarrassed to contact you because their credit is not that great. That's a reason why friends and family don't contact their loved ones in the car business because they're afraid you're going to judge them. It happens. So you got to be enticing on your post, but you can ask friends and family directly. But let's talk about the phone person. You said someone about the phone person, right?
Yeah, the phone pops.
Phone pops. You got to build urgency. You got to build urgency. You can't say, "Oh yeah, I got 5 on the lot." Are you looking for an F-150? Oh, I got 2,000 in stock because that means they can come in at any point and you're going to have something, right?
Okay.
So things that you can say is, hey, Ford has some incentives they released, but it's like a certain amount of incentives that we can give out at our dealership, and then that particular incentive goes away. So the sooner you get in, the more money you're going to save on an F-150 because these some of these incentives are like numbered. They don't got as many. They can go away at any point. Now my incentive sheet says it's good until September 1st to September 30th. But if that budget runs out, they'll cut that thing off. I'll run a incentive sheet the next day and it's gone. Well, what happened? It said they own the company, they can do whatever they want. So if you want the most savings, you got to get in quick. And plus people are buying them left and right. Let's say you got 9 expeditions and they've been sat there for 6 months. When that phone call comes up, they haven't been there that long and there's people looking at them, right? You have to build a sense of urgency with these people. And if you want the best possible deal, Mr. Customer, you have to be in our showroom. I got to talk to my boss and say, listen, customers in the showroom, they want to make a deal. I got them right here. Not some guy on the phone saying, what's your best deal? We get that 10,000 times a day. I need you here. That's how you can get them in too. Uh,
Mhm.
but there's different ways to get customers in. The thing that helps me the most is urgency, the sense of urgency, and the fear of loss. There's only a couple left. There's some great incentives on them. There's people looking at them right now on the lot. How fast can you get here? Oh, I don't get off till 5. Perfect. I'm here. I'll be here ready for you. Just try to get here as quick as possible. You see how that could work? Sense of urgency,
And fear of loss. I
fear
haven't
of
heard of that
loss.
one before. I like that one.
There's another one. It's called FOMO, fear of missing out. Fear of missing out. Let's say that, do you do any investments in crypto?
I do.
Okay, so check this out. There's a crypto I found out about. It's at 0.02 cents. It's 2 cents right now, and it's supposed to go up tomorrow. And because there's some big vibe on it, you could double, triple your money in the next few days. Okay, let's say you don't have any money to buy it right now. Let's say you're broke right now. Tell me what your feelings would be that whole day. If you know it's
Oh
a,
man.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, oh man, how can I come up with a couple of cents so I could start investing now?
hmm Because you don't want to miss out, right?
Yeah, because I don't want to miss out.
Fear of missing out, fear of loss. So, fear of missing out is how that crypto feeling is. Your buddy just told you it's about to go up to 8 cents per. It's 2 cents right now. You could quad your money. How fast would you be make? Oh, boom! I need to borrow $100. Don't worry, I'll pay you back tomorrow. Like you're gonna make stuff happen because you don't want to miss out. Well, it's the same for your customers. There's all kinds of incentives on it. We only have a few left, and there's a swarm of customers out here. like I hope they ignore it until you get here. When can you get here? I can't hold it for you. When can you get here? So try to use sense of urgency, fear of missing out, and fear of loss. It's going to be gone if you can't get here. I can't hold it all weekend. Tomorrow is one of our busier weekdays. It's a Tuesday. I know it's weird, but for some reason we sell a ton on Tuesdays. It's a strange thing. Oh, I know, I know. All right, I'll be there. When can I get there? Can you at least hide it? Like, and you've probably heard customers say that to you. When you're in the zone of selling, you'll hear customers say that. Okay, I can get there after 4. Have you heard that?
Oh yeah.
Because you were in the zone. They and the customer detected fear of loss a little bit, or scared of missing out. So remember that when you're on the phone, urgency and fear of loss, and you're going to get more and more people in. And set those appointments and tell your boss, hey, Mr. Boss, I just set 3 appointments. Holy moly, who's this Yuli guy? Yeah, Yuli's the next guy up in line. He's amazing. Okay, do you have other issues with getting people in on the phone?
Um, Not really. Ever since I listened to that one episode that you had of hey, the best deal is gonna be like here in the showroom. You're here, my manager's here, the car is here. Let's make something happen. I've been using that. I noticed that that kind of creates that urgency.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes I just kind of lose them towards the end. When it comes to setting up the appointment or asking for information, I don't get the same reciprocity. Or like I
Yeah.
don't know how to advance it forward.
Okay,
Because I meant
so
to.
yeah,
Oh, go
go
ahead.
ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say because I'm at a dealership where if they don't ask for you, then there's no protection. Even though you have them, in your CRM, if they don't ask for you, then that's open floor.
Okay, so what you can do with that, because I know that feeling. There's no, even if you have them logged and appointment set, they don't ask for you. It's rough because you see them out there and you know that's them. They're looking at the green truck that no one would ever ask for, and they're buying it. So what what you need to do with those customers is tell them we're appointment based. Um, uh, if you don't come in and ask for me, I'm not trying to say, look, actually, let's go back a little bit. When you have a hard time getting the appointment, you just need to tell them, hey, I'm going to set you up for an appointment. Don't worry, you're just coming in to look at the vehicle. You're not buying the vehicle. Let me do my job and show it to you. And if you want to buy it, totally fine. If you don't, that's fine too. And that'll help you get more appointments because the customer is at ease before they come in. Because when I go to a new place, even if it's a new restaurant, I'm a little nervous about it. Like, where do I walk in? Do I seat myself? Do I wait at the front? Like, I get a little nervous, even me. So that's how they are too. I'm going to put you down for the appointment. I'm going to hit enter. It's going to log you in. My manager is going to get a notification you're coming. Don't worry, no pressure. I'm not that kind of salesperson. Just come in, take a look at it. If you want to buy it, you can. If you don't, you don't have to. But I would love to do my job and show it to you. And I have an opening at 5. And please ask for Yuli at Ford. I'm going to send you a text message even if you got to text me when you're here, but at least you'll have my name on your phone. What's the best phone number to reach you? And don't worry, I'm not going to bug you with phone calls and text messages. This is literally just for my information. And if you don't like the car, I'll delete it out of my system. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. And if you set an appointment time for 6, stay on them. Confirm it 10 minutes before. Hey, just confirm it. You're on your way. My boss asked me. Someone was looking at that car, and I said, nope, I'm selling it at da da da. I'm just joking, but you know what I mean? Like, you're confirming it. Yeah, we're pulling up right now, Yuli. All right, what are you in? I'm going to look out for you. I'm in a white expedition. All right. Oh, I think I see you. Like, you got to become you got to become a salesman in keeping these appointments and confirming them and staying on top of them, especially at your store where there's no protection. You have to protect yourself at all times, and that's a way to do it. But
Okay.
getting customers in, um, that is a good one that I used in sales was exactly what we're talking about. The fear of loss, the best deals in the showroom when you're at my desk and I can show my boss, look at there's a customer right there. That's the guy who wants this deal. Those are the people that get the best deals. The people that just get a generic number are the ones that call in and say, "What's your best price?" It's on the website. Bye. Or you come in my showroom, you say, "Hey, I want to do this, this, and this is where I want my payment." Those are the guys that get the best deals. When can you get here? And then you stay on top of that appointment.
Okay.
And you know what? If they're unwilling to give you a name and phone number and you're doing a great job, sometimes those customers, it's tough because there's a certain percentage of people out there you'll never make happy, and they just don't care about salespeople. And some of those you got to cut loose, and if they ask for you, awesome. If they don't, darn it, you know. But the best you can do is stay on them, keep fighting for that appointment. Okay, the thing too, and I'm sure you've heard this episode about the information close. So like after a test drive and you want to get them in, let me get you more information. Well, you're disguising the payment as more information. Have you used that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I'm so happy I found you very early in the career because it's it's helped out a lot. So much, so much.
Well, you can use that in your life, in your entire life, not just in car sales, but in your life. But you can use it on the phone too, and you can use it trying to set appointments. I'm not asking you to buy the car. I'm just asking for you to come in so I can get you the rest of the information. And you can just try to tweak every little verbiage to your advantage because what you want to do is keep the pressure off the customer. You want the customer to be ice cold as far as feeling the heat from pressure from you, right? The close. You want to keep them ice cold until they're at your desk, and then you light them up. Then
Okay.
you drop the hammer on the close. But if you're trying to set an appointment, put all this pressure on them, they're not in your grasp yet, right? You don't have the keys to their trade on your manager's desk. You don't have them at your desk, and you're already putting all this heat on them for an appointment and da 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 da. Listen, whether you buy or not, let me do my job. I like to go over the vehicle with you and you can decide. Come on in. Ask for Yuli. You're going to see me. I got the big gold chain, right? One lucky customer one day will get a gold chain from me. Whatever you want to say. Have fun. Okay, now your last topic you mentioned was well, before we move on, do you want to cover anything else on customers getting customers in?
Mm, I'm gonna say no. Yeah, I'm gonna say no. I think
Okay.
I
If
got
you
enough.
think of something before we're up, let me know. Because everyone has a different technique on getting appointments. It's not just one cookie cutter thing. And
Okay.
remember, just like the questions, if you have an easy customer, you don't have to go and do all this stuff. I'm not asking you to buy, just asking you to come in. If they say, "Yeah, I want to come see that truck after work," you don't have to do any of that stuff. Okay, perfect. I'm going to log you in, but I do want to make sure that you ask for Yuli because this dealership doesn't protect appointments. So please ask for Yuli. And I'm going to call you and text you right before you get here just to make sure. You'll see me. I got a big smile. I'm handsome and I got a big gold chain. All right, Yuli. Don't worry, I'll ask for you. Are you promising you ask for me? You're having fun. All right. If you can get on that level with your customer, they'll always ask for you. Okay.
Okay.
All right, the last one you had was motivation. Motivation is very important for salespeople and really for anybody in business because you got to find out what motivates you, and it's different for everybody. Your motivation is different from your buddies, and your buddy's motivation is different than his and different from mine. But the key is you got to find it. And I'll give you an example of one of mine that helped me in car sales. I always wanted to have the highest average gross in the store I worked at. So my motivation to make lots of money was I wanted to have the highest average gross. And the last 2 years I was in car sales, I held the highest average gross front end, not back end, just front, what I got paid off of for the last 2 years before I went into management. Gross shows you how good of a closer you are. Closers make big gross. What I wish I would have coupled my gross with early in my career was more units because I felt like I wanted that average to be so high, which it was pretty darn good. But sometimes I wouldn't fight for that many as hard as I should have because what am I going to make $200 when I'm making $1,000 vouchers left and right? So what I wish I would have done is gone back in time if I could and worry about making sure I close those little deals. A Ford Fiesta, right? When I was selling Fords, it had an $800 front end gross if you sold it at full pop. So the
Right.
motivation behind selling it was just a unit. That the unit obviously excited me because I want to be salesman of the month. But salesman of the month for units was secondary to me being the highest grossing salesperson. But looking back, and use this as I want both. I want to have the most gross and the most units. And that was my motivation was gross. Of course, providing for my family, being a good father and a good husband. But I knew that if I focus on the gross, that will be taken care of. Of course, I want to be a good provider and a good dad and a good husband. That was that was always there as motivation. But really drove me is when they talked about the highest gross for the week. Oh, Kyle, he did a 7 pounder, he did a 6 pounder. That's what I liked. So, is there anything particular right now that kind of motivates you?
Now I'm gonna say the same thing I told my managers when they first hired me. I really like nice things and I like taking girls out to really nice places. So I guess those are the two leading things on motivation.
There you go. Being a baller, right?
Sure.
That's what I think of when I think of a guy like you. I think of a baller. He's got a nice car. He's got, some flashy things, and He's got it made. He's got it put together. When I got in the car business, I remember those guys. Nice watch, new phone, and I had none of that. I had no watch. I had an old Nokia flip phone that had a silly case on it. I'm like, I want to be like that guy. But he wanted to be like me, which was a guy that was married with kid. It's like, what? Because the version of success is different for people. I thought success was being a baller with the big wheels and the nice car and all that. He thought being a baller was a guy that gets to go home to a wife and kids. So, but you got to find out what motivates you. And if that's what motivates you, you need to build upon it, build upon it, build upon it. And know that if you got the fancy stuff and you got the fancy girl and you got the fancy car, you better have some fancy numbers to back it up,
Mhm.
right? And so use that as motivation, and at least you have something to work with, right now that motivates you. Nice things, pretty girls, and nice places to eat. I love eating at nice places. I can't always do it. I'm like, yeah, we're gonna eat over here this time. You know what I mean? So use that motivation to catapult your sales. I can't do those things unless I do these things at work. When I clock in, if I want to have those nice things, I have to do these nice things, and that's sell cars. So your motivation is different than someone else's. And but you have to build upon it. And remember, motivation needs to morph, because guess what? What happens if that's your motivation, that's all that drives you? What happens if you take a break from dating because you're just tired of the drama, right? What's your motivation now? You better have a backup plan. Could it be stacking cash? Could it be stacking crypto? Could it be stacking gold? People buy gold bars, and they keep them in a safe. So maybe have a few things that you can always be thinking about. I want to go out to this restaurant with this girl, and I want to have 10K in my account. Let's start there. And then, build off of that or more, whatever you want to do. But motivation it's different for anyone. Um, when it comes to the sales, though, let's talk about the dealership. Do you have any motivations to be number one?
I do. I think that's part of being in sales is that just that friendly competition that you get, with the coworkers and just everyone in the store.
Yeah. So, and motivation to be, a manager one day, or motivation to be a closer if you have closers at your store, or motivation to be finance. Keep those things in your sight, because they're not far off. They're not far from you if you focus on it and you really put your efforts towards it. So maybe on your sheet, go to the next page when you have time to think about it, and think about, okay, make circles and say, put Yuli in the middle, and write down the things that motivate Yuli. I want to be number one. I want to have the highest gross. I want to, break a record at the store. I want to try to get salesman of the month 2 months in a row. And their goals slash motivation, for you. I want to go to this restaurant. I want to leave a tip for a waiter that does a good job, or waitress, $500 tip. I want to see their face when I hand them a $500 tip. Like, that's baller status stuff.
Yeah. No, yeah, it really
But
is.
think about this. Let's think about, you're out on a date with a really pretty lady. I mean, she is a 10 out of 10, and you got your nice car, da da da. And you just took home a $20,000 paycheck, and you got 20 G's take home, and you got 3 grand in your pocket just for fun money, just because it feels good. Not that you're going to spend the fun money, but you got 3 G's in your pocket and you're out on a date with a 10 out of 10. And you're over there and you're like, oh, what's the bill? Oh, it's 180. Okay. Here's 500. Keep the change. All right. Hey, are you ready to go? She'd be like, yes, daddy. All right.
That's yeah.
I mean, that's baller status right there. So use that motivation because that's freaking cool to be able to do that and make uh, a waiter's dream come true. This guy, yeah, and you leave your card with them. I'm Yuli, the Ford guy, and have your card inside that. They will keep that card forever, and they'll be looking out for you next time you're at the restaurant. And you never know what can come of that. But um, the thing too about motivation is try to let it fire you up. Try to let it like let it boil in you and remember we got in the car business to have fun, make money, sell a bunch of cars, have a successful career, meet new people. Like these are all really cool things about the car business. And let motivation fire you up so when you come into the dealership, you're like, I have arrived. In your head at least. Maybe not say it out loud, but in your head you clock in and like Yuli is here. I bless you with Yuli. And and make it fun and get fired up, be a salesman and be fired up and do things that your dealership hasn't seen. I promise you, your sales managers and your owner is it Jim Click? Is he still alive?
Yeah, right now it's Jim Cook Jr. that's running everything.
Okay, do you get to talk with him ever?
Every now and then I try to stay out of his way, but he's super, super cool. I really like that guy.
Okay, you want to know how to get him to talk to you? Start doing
How?
stuff he's never seen, selling a ton of cars, doing videos, inviting people in. Hey, come down to Jim Click, where we turn customers into family and we offer the lifetime maintenance program. I'm gonna blow your mind with how awesome Jim Click is. When you work for a family company and an owner sees that, guess who's on his radar? The guy that I am part. If I could change my name, it would be Ulysses Click because I love this dealership so much and I'm very proud to work here. It's a family-owned company and that exactly wear that sucker ever. But if you not and we're not doing it to suck up, we're really believing in our dealership. And you'll start seeing them come around to you. Hey, what's going on, Yuli? Oh, what's going on, Junior? You know, but like he's not going to fire you for being the best salesperson and promoting his family. Like these are good things, but if you can start doing things at your dealership they've never seen before, like fun videos and putting up big numbers and having giant grosses. Do you know what the highest gross your store's ever had on a car, front end gross?
Um, not completely, no.
Find out tomorrow when you're at the dealership or tonight. Say, what is the biggest gross this dealership's ever sold front end? Oh, we did a 10-pounder back in 2007. I'm going to beat it. And really try to find something that you could sell to beat it and make it a goal to get an 11-pounder or whatever, and get fired up inside and start breaking some records and doing things that they've never seen and promote that dealership and have fun and you'll see your career flourish when you have that mentality and it's inevitable. Like I've said in the other things, if you're training, you're thinking about the car business, you're obsessing about the car business, you're learning your product, you're reaching out to people, you're sending emails, you're calling, you're texting, you're posting fun videos, how can you not sell more cars? If
Right.
I mean it's like literally impossible to sell more cars when you're doing so much work. If you go to your office and get on YouTube and sit there for 4 hours, you can sell less cars that way for sure. You definitely won't sell more cars by scrolling or you're on TikTok in the back and it's slow. No, it's slow up here. If it's slow on the lot, make it busy on the phone, make it busy on internet leads. What have you accomplished today? Have you set appointments today? Appointments equal sales. Appointments usually have a 50% closing ratio or more if you get an appointment. So when it's slow and everyone's complaining about no one on the lot, that's the time to set appointments because if you set 2 appointments, one is going to buy. It's just facts. They're 50+% closing ratio. But make sure you make those bubbles and write down what motivates you and think about things that could motivate you in the future. Maybe put those bubbles farther out. This is what motivates me now. This is what's going to motivate me after I accomplish these things. And keep that motivation and make sure it fires you up. Anything else on motivation?
Um, I know that you had a video on this. It's how to bounce back from a bad month.
Hmm.
Um, it's just finding that motivation after having two bad months. So the way that my career started was I started with four, and then I moved up to seven, and then I hit 10. The month after that it was 3.5, then seven, and right now I'm about to have four out by tomorrow. I have an appointment for tomorrow.
Okay, so what happens, I've seen this my whole career, is a new guy comes in fired up, and the only thing he knows is what his boss told him. And his boss told him, go get an up, take him on a test drive, get him in the showroom. And so you started doing that, you started seeing success because you don't know any better. You haven't learned any bad habits. And what happens after you hit that 10 is now you know how to do it. You know how to structure a deal. You know how to, oh yeah, yeah. Well, no, you don't, we don't need to drive it. Let's just go in and work the numbers. Like you start taking shortcuts without you even realizing it. So you come in hot, you start doing what your boss says, go get ups, call your customers, make appointments, and you're doing all that fearlessly because you're too unknowledgeable to know any better. You're new to the car business. I'm just doing what my boss says. And we get smart and the number drops. So get back to the grind of taking up, being fearless, walking the lot, calling everybody, trying to set appointments, walking the service drive, shaking hands, uh, and you'll see your numbers going back up. And trust that process. Meet and greet. I need to build rapport. I need to do a needs assessment. I need to do a beautiful walk around. I need to do a demo drive. I need to bring them in and close them. I need to do a flawless paperwork. I need to do a delivery. I need to do follow up. I need to friend them on Facebook. Like these things need to be glued in your head, the steps of the sale, and you'll avoid that ever happening again. It's we get too smart for our own good and we don't trust the process. Customer says they don't want to drive it. Let's go work the numbers. And you say, okay, that's what happens when you get a little bit smart.
How'd you know? Who told you, man? Yeah, no, it's happened to me quite a while. Like so many times that people just say, you know what, like let's just work the numbers. You don't want to drive it first. You know, what if the seat doesn't feel right? What if it just doesn't? Oh, well, too bad. Let's just work numbers. And when I'm there, like I don't know what to do. I don't know if I should turn it at that point or just continue working it because I know I'm gonna get chewed out for that.
Yeah, you got to just say, hey, I would love to go work numbers right now, but my boss is watching me and I'm only 6 months into this. And he said, if your customer wants to buy a car, we have to do a test drive. And I've actually learned, Mr. Customer, that was smart because I sold a car one time to a customer. And the next day he called me, he's like, oh man, my back hurts. I was like, I told you to test drive it. Like, I don't want that to happen to you. I know you said you've driven these cars before, but let me just appease my job and do what I'm supposed to do, and that is to test drive you. And then we'll, even if the test drive's only a mile or two, right? Because if you go to work numbers, they're working numbers off of a walk around and MSRP. But if you go drive them, this is the value you've built in that vehicle, right? And now here's the MSRP. The value has surpassed the price. So when you go work numbers and they've test driven it, now they're like, oh, I want to show my guys that work this Mustang so bad. What's the payment? 650. Oh, you can't get me to 450? I'm like, dude, this is what they cost. Whether you buy it here or somewhere else, a GT Mustang is 650 a month. You could have two credit score or a 800 credit score. They're always 650. I don't know what it is. It's always 650. All right, let's do it because he wants to show his buddies how cool it is. And you can do that with any vehicle, but they got to test drive. So don't take shortcuts. I'll text you the 11 steps of the sale that I have. I have a picture saved and I have it printed. And I'm not even in sales anymore. I'm a sales manager and I have it in my glass underneath my keyboard so I can look at it and remember it. Meet and greet, needs assessment, building rapport, or building rapport slash needs assessment, product presentation, aka walk around, demo drive, close the deal, do the finance paperwork, get the Google review, do follow up, and friend them on Facebook forever. Like it's just so now if you remember those steps of the sale and the customer says, "Oh, let's go inside and work the numbers," caution, caution, you haven't test driven it yet, and you can get them back to let me do my job. Please let me do my job. I pride myself of doing my job really good, and I have to take you on a test drive. Plus, my boss is going to ask, "What'd you think of the drive?" And if I say, "Oh, we didn't drive it," he's going to be like, "Have you learned nothing, Yuli?" Like, and I want to avoid that as best as I can. So even if it's just a 2 mile test drive, let's just go drive it. There's a lot in the car business. Like
Yeah.
we're babysitters, we're psychologists, we put out fires, we create fires. I mean, like there's so many things we have to do as car salespeople. It's being able to be versatile and being able to stay positive. And when you see those huddles at the dealership and they're not being positive and they're talking smack about Jim Click Ford, like walk away because the huddle and negativity don't pay. Positivity and activity pay. So remember that you stay active all day and you stay positive all day. Positivity and activity always pay. It's inevitable. When was the last time you met someone that was positive and always staying busy and they didn't have success, whether success is money or whatever, like like let's did you play with Legos when you're little or Connects?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, if I have a pile of Legos and I just stare at it and complain about it, is it going to ever get built?
No?
No. Oh, this thing's stupid. The instructions 8 pages, and look at some of the color. I don't even like the colors. But what's on the other side of that Lego set is a beautiful spaceship or whatever you bought. So we got to get to work. Hey, mom, give me about 2 hours before dinner. I'm going to get this thing built. No, you can't get that built in 2 hours. Watch me. Well, the instructions, boom, boom, boom. You go to mom look at mom. Oh my, let me get a picture. I'm so proud of my son. Activity and positivity created something beautiful. No different in the car business. So, do you work tomorrow?
I do.
What time do you come in?
I'll be here at 9.
Okay, 9 o'clock. So, do you got a pen ready? I'm gonna have you write a couple things down for you to do tomorrow.
Got it.
Okay, I want you to get there at 8:50, and I want you to clock in. And in your head, I want you to say, Yuli has arrived. Okay? And I want you to stay positive all day. You work at a beautiful dealership with a ton of inventory that's owned by a family and you want a piece of that action. I want a piece of this action. I'm a businessman. And if you think about that right off the bat, right? You're not scrambling to get to work. Oh my gosh, I'm going to be late. It's 9:01. I'm clocking in. You left a little early. You have a coffee. You get there. You say Yuli has arrived. You already know what you want to do for today. I want to set 3 appointments. I want to take 5 ups. I want to and write down what you're going to do tomorrow. Like the goal is sell a car, obviously, but you need to take some ups, you need to do some demo drives, you need to say hi to someone in service and write some things down that may feel awkward. I want to try to get someone from service to do a test drive while they wait. Like write some things down that are different. Hey, while you wait, you want to come check out some cars? Sure. I'm Yuli. Nice to meet you. Yeah, I'm not trying to sell you something. I'm here to help people out and show them vehicles. I'm excited about Ford. And just try to do something different tomorrow.
Okay.
And but try to set some appointments and just work hard tomorrow and go home tired tomorrow. What is your shift? 9 to what?
9 to 8.
Okay, 98. Do you take a lunch break?
When I can.
Okay. So try to eat in there at some point, obviously, but 9 to 8, that's a long shift. That sounds like one of my shifts, the manager shift. Try to stay active the whole day, whether it's looking at inventory, walking the lot, making videos, doing calls. Just try to fill that day with success. And I promise you, you start making habits of that, you will sell so many cars, it'll be ridiculous. And you will be the baller of that dealership. Whose car is that? Oh, that's mine. What is it? Oh, it's a Porsche 911. And you sell cars? Yep. Yeah, I sell cars. I have 3 of those cars. I knew a salesman once that worked at Circuit City. Do you remember Circuit City?
No.
Okay, it was like Best Buy.
Okay.
He had a Ferrari Testarossa.
Oh, wow.
He was the number one salesman at Circuit City, and I got to work with him and I got to watch him. And his key was obviously he was a good salesman, good with the words, which you are, but he worked all day. He didn't go in the back and goof around and play video games in the video game section. He literally worked all day and bought a Ferrari Testarossa cash. It was like 80 grand. He saved up and bought it cash. So while the managers were driving Daewoo's, I was riding my bike to work. Everyone was doing the basic little first cars, old trucks. This guy was driving a Ferrari to work at Circuit City.
Wow.
Imagine a Best Buy employee driving a Ferrari Testarossa red to work.
Wow.
And
I can't imagine.
those people walk amongst us, and you could be that. So make that your sight that nothing's too big for me. I can do anything, and I will drive a Ferrari to work or whatever car you want. Woo, that was good.
Yes, sir.
You feel
That was a
good?
good. Yeah,
Can I ask you one last question?
sure thing.
What made you want to do a one-on-one with me?
I saw the value. I saw the value. I've been listening to you for a long time. Um, and I'm at the place in my career that I want to go to the next level. I don't want to be that 7 to 9 car guy. I want to be, 12 to 15 and then, 16 to 18, then 20. That's my goal is to hit 20 month in, month out.
Very, very cool. And that's a very achievable goal, especially with your inventory. You will hit it. There's some motivation right there. Write that one down. I don't want to be a 9 car guy. I want to be a 20 car guy and focus on that. And I appreciate you hiring me for the one-on-one uh, training session. It's a good one-on-one.
Yes, sir. Thank you.